Hello, guys. I'm Utkarsh, and welcome to Concept Spectrum Podcast. As usual, I have with me Sanjay and Vikram. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey guys.
So, for this three-part episode, we have decided that each of us will select one technology that we think can change our whole future. The most disruptive technology, if that's a word. So, in this episode, we'll talk about the technology that I have chosen. But before talking about it, let's do an exercise. Okay, let's do an interactive exercise. So both of you choose one language which you really want to learn and the country that you really want to visit. Which one would it be? Sanjay?
It would be France and learning French.
Oh, nice. And Vikram?
So the language of my choice is Spanish because I live in California, and as you know, Spanish is the second language of California, and the country is, of course, Spain.
Oh, nice. So that's interesting. Well, if you ask me, I would choose French as well, even though I'm living in France, because it's so difficult. So yeah.
Yeah.
So now imagine in 10 to 15 years, you will be able to roam in that country. You will have that technology that at one day you just go to that country and you will be able to roam there like a native. So you will remember, you won't even have to remember the paths, the road names or the city names. You can roam there and you will know how to go from point A to point B. And not only that, you wouldn't have to learn their language and still you will be able to communicate.
Okay.
And that would be cool. And to explain how big of a deal it is,
Yeah.
I'll ask you, I'll speak in two languages, in French and then in Punjabi. And then you have to guess what I'm trying to say. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
So I'll start with French.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Je sais que tu ne comprends pas le français, donc je peux dire n'importe quoi. You have no idea what I said,
Yeah,
right?
it will bounce up to me.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
So that's because there's no similarity between English and French, at least in my statement. So
Yeah.
there's no way of knowing what I said.
Okay. Huh.
Now in the Punjabi, and I guess you would understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So ਸਿਰਫ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਅਸਲਾ ਦੋਸਤ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੇਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੋਟੇ ਦਿਖਾਈ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੰਜੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ.
Okay, मतलब तुम्हारे अच्छे like your good friends will only come to know when.
No, don't worry.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
maybe it is directed towards both of you,
Yeah.
but I'm neither going to accept and nor deny. I'm not going to confirm.
You
that
never
it
know
was
the
written by
next
me.
year. You never know the next year. Both of things can be directed to you as well.
But right now
Well
it
said,
applies
well
to
said.
someone, but I'm not going to name.
So yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So this shows that how difficult it is to learn a language specifically if it has no commonality between your native language, right?
Yeah.
So a technology that I picked can actually help in solving all these problems. And it's called BMI. So it's not brain mein IQ. It's not body mass index. It's brain machine interface.
Okay.
So generally what it is it's the communication between your brain and any kind of machine.
Okay.
Right now what we have is we have a communication with the machine, but we have a middleman, which is our hand, our fingers, our thumbs, through which we interact with the machines, right? But there is some reasons why we actually need it. So if we talk about the issues that we have right now, one of the biggest issue is the bandwidth issue, which is the speed of output is limited to the speed of our fingers. So suppose if you are typing something, even though you can think a lot faster, but your speed will only depend on how fast you can type with your fingers or your thumbs, right?
Yeah.
True.
And the speed of learning is also limited. It depends on how many neurons you have in your brain and how fast is the transmission.
Okay.
So right now we have those limitations in our body, in our brain, but this technology can cut out the middleman. So generally, whenever you think of something, you can think of the whole paragraph, let's say of 100 words, in matter of seconds. but it takes a lot of time for you to write and communicate it through
Correct.
the machine.
Yes.
But this technology will cut out the middleman, so you can directly communicate from brain to machine, and there is going to be no transmission through limbs.
So you're saying the information can be directly transmitted from whatever your brain is thinking can be directly stored in a machine, a chip, whatever.
Yes. So you don't need any kind of fingers or thumbs to tell the machine what to do. So this technology will detect the signals from your brain
Yeah.
and will act it out in the machine.
Wait, are you talking about like brain waves or something?
So it's in the neurons, when there is a transmission between two neurons, it's the chemical reactions, it's the neurotransmitters. So you can simulate that through electrodes, and you can input and you can output as well at the same time. So whenever there is a signal, there is a magnetic field that detects that there is going to be a signal which is going on through that neuron. So you can simulate that and you can make that in the machine as well.
I have a question. For example, now you're thinking something, you could be thinking about your schedule in your mind, you're not speaking it out. So will the brain will be able to catch that, what you're thinking as well? The feeling or something?
Yes. So right now, what they are in the research phase, they are able to see the patterns whenever you think about anything. Let's say that if you think about moving your hand, there is a certain kind of pattern which they detect in your brain that happens.
Okay.
So all these communications are through patterns. So that's what they detect, and then they react that accordingly. So in the machine, if they see that pattern,
How advanced is that pattern? Like, that's what my question was. For example, now you're thinking about a feeling, an emotional feeling. Will that be able to catch that? How advanced? You're talking about right now physical patterns. For example, if my eyes wants to turn on the left hand side, I'm pretty sure the brain makes some signals and it should be able to catch those signals. But what about feelings, which emotional? Then will it be able to catch all those feelings? Is it that advanced?
Yes. Right now, what they have done is, through their research, they have used monkeys and rats
Okay.
for their experiments.
Okay.
And a monkey was able to control mouse and keyboard
Oh,
through this technology.
wow.
So yes, there is still a long way to go
Okay.
for the advancement of this technology.
Yeah.
Right now, they are only targeting it towards the neurological people who have neurological diseases and they have some problems in their motor functions. So till now, there's still research going on. But
Okay.
what they have found out is it's all about how much the neurons are transmitting the information. Can you replicate it and can you detect it? And even when you said that turning your eyes towards left or right,
Yeah.
this also happens in your brain.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of picking from where it's happening and detecting it from there. To give you more information, so when I'm talking about BMI, the forefront of this technology, the product, is Neuralink, which is founded by Elon Musk and other founders. There are 5 other founders. And this technology uses this BMI concept to communicate between brain and machine. So if we go into the specifications, there will be small threads, thousands of threads, which are 10 times thinner than your hair. And they will be inserted in your brain very carefully through robotic machines, because it's very intricate for a human to do those kind of surgeries. It's nearly impossible for a human to do that. So it will be through robots and it will be very safe. So they will insert that thread very close to your neurons and that part of the brain where you actually want to receive the information. And along with these threads, there will be a very small chip inside the skull of your brain. It will be a 4x4 millimeter chip. So to understand how big it will be 1/5 of the tip of your index finger. So not very big. and that will be connected to your battery powered chip behind your ear.
Okay.
So you will have a very small socket kind of thing behind your ear, which will be connected to the threads. And that will be your main interface, which will connect to the machine. Either through Bluetooth, either through Wi-Fi. It depends.
Wow. But that looks like a very, as you said, very risky business when it comes to even putting that chip into your like
If you look
interfacing
at
it.
the actually the health concerns,
Yeah.
it's not that big, because if you look at the size of the needle that will go inside your brain,
Yeah.
it's very, very small.
But you
It's-
are direct.
you wouldn't even-
But aren't this like, is it directly connected to your brain like brain nerves, right? That's how you're gonna transmit and collect the signals, right?
Why does this sound
So-
like RoboCop, guys?
Because it is, but it's much safer.
Actually, there's a episode. If anyone watches Black Mirror, on the first season there was the last episode, the entire history of you. That's an episode directly related to this topic, where they had a chip, exactly what, like below the ears, and it was like he could get all the information. It's like a camera fit into your eyes, and his eyes are acting like a camera, and now he could store all the information, he could rewind the information, he could use every information. Looks like it seems very close to what.
Yes, and
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
one of the big potential application of this, that you can store
Yeah.
and even replay your memories.
But at the end of that episode, let me just remind you, the character went ahead and pulled out the whole chip out of his brain, because he was he was mad. He got mad because of that whole chip, because he got obsessed by the information he could catch.
Well, the
Yeah.
Black Mirror is, the whole concept of Black Mirror is when you put any technology to extreme, what could happen.
Correct.
So
Yes.
I'm sure there are Black Mirror episodes on video games or virtual realities.
Yes. There
Like
are.
if you are
Yeah.
inside a video game and you are not able to get out of it. So there's
Yes, I know that.
obviously there are going to be problems
Yeah.
and challenges with it.
Yeah.
But I am more focusing on the potential applications.
Correct.
Like if we are able to make this technology safe
Yeah.
and applicable, then there are no limitations on this technology. Like as I mentioned, there is no limitation for speech and language. So you can learn any language that you want. You don't have to worry about are you sounding correct? Are you grammatically correct? There's going to be only one universal language between
I have a
any
question.
of you.
I have a question on the language. So you asked us about French or Spanish, what language you want to learn. Now, for example, if I'm in France, I don't know French. How is this chip gonna actually help me in conversing in French? Because I don't know French. So
Yeah. So what will happen is, when let's say that you want to speak, if you want to ask something to a French person, you think about it in your own mind, right?
Yeah.
But in your native language.
okay.
So when you think about it in your native language, you can use it as your output for that machine. It will translate it and will wirelessly give it to the person who's listening, and then it will be in French. So you won't have to learn how to speak French.
Okay.
You just need to think about what you want to speak, and it will be automatically translated.
So are you saying it will be like directly transmitted, like my brain will think about what I want to say to the person, and it will directly transmit wirelessly to his brain if he has the chip, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be a wireless connection. So there will be a communication between brain to brain
This sounds too fancy. But
instead of mouth
I
to mouth.
hope, yeah.
And it's actually it's not that far leap, because right now we have those kind of technologies
Yeah.
where you just have to wear
Correct. Yeah.
a small wearable chip in your ear.
Yes, I know that.
It has a speaker,
Yes.
and when you speak, it records, it translates, and the other person hears it in that language.
Correct.
In their language.
Correct.
So this is actually applicable right now.
I've-
The only difference is that instead of mouth, it will be brain to brain.
I've seen those whatever the chip thing you're talking about, where you wear a chip and you have the system
Yes.
which converts. I've seen that in players wearing that during Ballon d'Or, like when different football players come.
Yeah,
on,
kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess in those they have the translators.
Okay.
But right now, because NLP, natural language processing,
Yeah.
it's still an evolving field,
Okay.
so it won't be as fast right now.
Yeah.
But it will be as how we are talking right now, because it's wireless, it's fast, so it won't matter how what language we are speaking in, it will be translated very fast. So that's one of the potential application. Second is storing and replaying memory. So because this electrode can input
Yeah.
information and also output the information,
Yeah.
you can store any kind of memory that you want, because in you forget about the certain memories after a while, right? But you
Yeah.
can store it in some machine and you can replay that memory again and again. When you replay that memory, you play it in your brain as images, right?
Yes.
Images in audio.
Yes.
So of course you can translate that into zeros and ones,
Yeah.
store it in the machine,
Yeah.
and replay it.
Can you delete that memory? As in, for example, if some incident happened in my life and I just want to delete that memory from my brain, can it do that? Is it as that research reached that level? I'm asking.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because the thing is that you can read and write, but I don't think you can delete
Okay.
from your brain, because at what your neurons are doing,
Yeah.
you are not able to change what you are thinking
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
I don't know how far the technology will go in next decade or so.
Oh.
But right now, it's not possible for you to change your information. You can only introduce new information, or you can extract that information.
Got it.
And one good thing about for all the students is that they can memorize any concepts. Because you are storing memories, you can store information as well. So you don't have to mug up one day before the exam. You can memorize any kind of theories and concepts.
You have to realize that the exams will also change once this concept.
Then the procedure
It's
will
not
change.
gonna be the same.
Forget about
Yeah.
memorizing a concept or actually trying to recall it from memory, because you can, if you have a wireless link attached to your brain, just Google it in the exam and you're done.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. That's why we will have to change the pattern of exams.
process. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
what can happen with the exams? Maybe we won't need any exams, because you don't have to prove that you know, because you know. And one implication
Yeah.
is if you combine it with virtual reality,
Yeah.
you can live in a simulation. So for guys who are listening, if you have not watched the episode on simulation, please listen to that podcast. It's interesting as well. So we can actually combine it with those virtual reality games that we play. So you have virtual reality headsets which you can wear and you can feel like you are inside that game. So you can combine these two technologies and you can feel like you're living in a simulation. But
Okay.
the biggest application, according to me, the biggest is Sanjay wouldn't have to drink 20 cups of coffee a day to get the sensation that he's drinking. Because this technology can simulate that sensation that you are drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to drink
So I'll be like
that many cups of coffee.
I'll be like one cup of coffee a day, and then I'll feel like I'm caffeinated for the whole day.
Also, Sanjay, it's brain-to-brain communication, so no more lying.
Yeah. This guy, he's so obsessed with coffee. Like, if we have 3 doors, if he's given 3 doors and each door has an option, like first door, if he selects that, he will get superhuman strength. Second door is he'll get time machine. He can control time. And the third door is he will get a cup of coffee. I'm 100% sure he'll choose the third door. That
Yeah.
I just need my coffee.
Yeah, that powers my brain, na?
See,
And there
It's
goes.
okay.
That's why we need this technology as soon as possible.
Yeah, let's keep the coffee again apart.
we need this technology.
Yeah.
We need to save Sanjay.
Yeah. So now tell me, I have a question. So now we talked all about the potential applications and what a good impact this technology can bring, right? So as this
Yes.
is all, I am assuming malware is its biggest enemy, right?
So there are a lot of challenges with this technology.
Yeah.
One is that with technology, viruses exist as well.
Yeah.
So like ransomware is a kind of virus where it gets hold of your information and it only gets released when you give money or something.
Correct.
So we need to take care of this technology, that it is safe. And right now what I think is the virus can only come through the machine that is connected to our brain. So we need to make sure that the machine is safe. And this is a big challenge. We need to see how we can overcome that problem.
Okay.
And also that it is difficult to convince a healthy person. Like I can't go to Sanjay and say that, hey, can you insert a chip inside your brain? It will help you.
To be frank, if you have asked me or you have told me all the potential good parts and the bad parts, I am still very skeptical. Even if in future, if someone says, okay,
You need a full blown confirmation and examples of
Correct.
people
Correct.
working with this technology.
Yeah.
And applying this technology, then only. I don't think that's why they are only focused on people who have neurological diseases.
Exactly. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
For patients who actually need these technologies.
Okay.
And right now we have a similar kind of technology where they insert a big electrode inside your brain.
Yeah.
And those are for patients who are suffering from Parkinson's disease. So we have those kind of things.
Okay.
But this is a whole new level where you are not only improving your motor functions, but you are going to a different level of cognitive ability.
Got it.
And it is true that brain is still a mystery to us. It still keeps evolving. It doesn't stay at the same place in your whole lifetime. It moves. So we still need to research about how brain works, and we need to proper diagnose its implications. So there are a lot of areas where Neuralink has to work, and other companies or products that are going to be introduced.
So what does do you have any idea about what does neuroscientists or neurologists have to say about this technology?
I'm sure that in Neuralink's team there are a lot of neurologists.
Okay.
And right now, there is another parallel technology that the neurologists are developing, which is how to control your PC or computer without, or even your robotic hand, without touching anything.
Oh.
It is the same kind of technology, but it has different implications. So there is a connection between reading your brain signals and applying it to a third party without any limbs.
Okay.
And neurologists are applying it.
Okay.
But this technology is using that concept and applying it to your totally different life. A totally different part of your life.
I would say initially this kind of technology might have a lot of applications in people who are disabled, people who have lost an arm or a leg, since it basically enables your brain to talk to your prosthetics. But as it has been said in a lot of videos that talk about evolution, I think this technology can actually make us human machine combination, kind of like cyborgs, and I actually really like that idea. I mean, I would be for it.
It's not a bad idea actually, but I would say if you ask me, every technology until it develops to its extreme. So for example, now you talk about even if you talk about social media, 10 years before 2010, if you talk about when Facebook was just like it came, and now you talk about it was evolving, and you thought okay, it's such a good thing, you can connect platform, people are just coming closer. And now as you go deep now in 2020, now you're talking about how to stay away from social media. So I would wait for this technology to develop to its full impact, as what Utkarsh mentioned, and then the negative implication starts coming up, and then that will give us a full-blown picture about how good or bad this technology can become in future.
Yeah, but I think that let's say that if in 1990s, if I told you that in a couple of decades you will be putting all your information, all your personal information on social media, you will be like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
But as you evolve and as the technology is introduced, you are compelled to do it. So we have a long way to go with this technology.
Exactly. Yeah.
And anyways, it's not going to be real for at least for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But it is planned to be launched
Yeah.
either the end of this year or next year.
Yeah.
According to Elon Musk.
Exactly.
But it will only be for patients, not for common people.
Okay.
So we can see the limitless opportunities we can have with this technology.
Exactly.
And it is not science fiction. It is real life. It is becoming a reality.
That's why we have named the podcast as Disruptive Technologies, right? So
Yeah,
we don't know the
and,
future, but we do believe that this can disrupt the whole system if it goes well in future.
Yeah. And in the near future, in the next decade or so, we can have this technology. So I would say that with these difficult times we are going through, this is something we should look forward to and get excited about. Because these kind of ventures will not only evolve our civilization, but will also help us to understand ourselves and this universe. And that's the main ambition we should have. So thank you, Sanjay and Vikram, for joining us. And thank you everyone for listening to us. Let us know in the comment what you think about it. And please subscribe to the channel and share this podcast with your friends. See you in the next episode.
Thank you.